Meet Tara Wheeler. Tara has joined Bob Greeby as the co-host for the Fox 21-27 Morning News. She's a former Miss Virginia, an Air Force veteran, and was the goalie for the Penn State Lady Ice. She even shaved her head bald to raise funds for children's cancer research.
Developing news from Chesapeake. The fire department is investigating a gas leak overnight. We are living local here in Hampton Roads. Starting off in Newport News. Continuing coverage now, President Joe Biden signed a government funding bill avoiding a shutdown crisis. Fueled a line of severe thunderstorms. You can see that wall of water right there over the hospital, but once that cleared out of the way, we were treated to a gorgeous sunset, beautiful hues of orange and blue, very fitting for us here in Central Virginia.
You know you're a mom when this is your natural instinct is to do the whole sway.
It's all under construction now, but in a few months, this space is going to be the Safe Haven Empowerment Center, and it's all thanks to this guy right here. In this week's I'm Hampton Roads, get to know Super Bowl champion Antoine Bethea. Today we are cooking with the candidates vying for a U.S. Senate seat here in Virginia. Democratic candidate Tim Kaine joins us in the HRS kitchen. I've seen the commercial. I've never had it though.
Oh my gosh!
What do you want people to know about domestic violence? We hear people say so often, well, why didn't they just leave? What do you want people to know, the stigma surrounding it?
If you're a fan of The Simpsons, you have our next guest to thank, at least partially. I'm joined by the woman of the weekend. This is Sandra Gardner.
Does it look like my legs are two completely different colors? You see this?
What's going on?
It's because they are. I thought I would do a little self-care yesterday. I've been feeling under the weather, and I thought, you know, make me feel better, I'll put a little bit of self-tanner on. And I did, everywhere except for one entire leg.
Tara Wheeler shows no signs of contempt. In fact, her neutral expression registers as almost 49% happy.
Now let me get out of the way, me and my big belly, so you can see what's happening as you walk out the door on Friday morning. The candle's $24.
She's not letting it go, Isaac. I warned you coming into the show today that she was hot about this.
I'm like, oh, she's going to come in hot
Hotter
today.
than a candle wick.
Hotter than a candle wick.
I'm always nervous when I sing the national anthem because it's such an important song, and it's not my song, and it means a lot to a lot of people. For the land of the free and the home of the brave.
We are so lucky to do this job and to be able to get out there in the community and meet so many incredible people and have so many amazing experiences. I mean, that just watching that back made me remember how lucky we are.
Now, from the station on your side, you're watching Wavy News 10.
Developing news from Chesapeake. The fire department is investigating a gas leak overnight. It closed the Stonebridge Plaza Shopping Center in the Western Branch area. Crews first responded to Portsmouth Boulevard around 8:50 last night. They had gotten reports that a gas meter was hit by a car, causing a major leak. Businesses were evacuated. Firefighters worked with Columbia Gas Company to secure the leak. We're working to find out if the shopping center will reopen this morning. Portsmouth police are investigating a deadly shooting. It happened yesterday just after 5 in the morning on Garrett Street. Police say they found a man who'd been shot. He died at the scene. Police say there's no threat to the public and investigators are not looking for suspects. Continuing coverage this morning on the shooting that took the life of a 21-year-old in Newport News. Police say Amari Maxwell died after he was shot on Traverse Road. 10 on your side's Keegan Hughes spoke with the family. President Joe Biden signed a government funding bill avoiding a shutdown crisis. The bill includes $100 billion in disaster aid and a one-year extension of federal farming programs. It does not include a debt limit extension, which President-elect Donald Trump wanted. House Speaker Mike Johnson says Trump is happy with the outcome overall. The president released a statement yesterday saying the agreement is a compromise. New this morning, Trump named Chad Mizell as his pick for Chief of Staff at the Department of Justice. Mizell will get a second time to work under a Trump administration. He previously served as General Counsel and Chief of Staff at the Department of Homeland Security. Mizell will work with the President-elect's Attorney General nominee, Pam Bondi. Trump shared a statement on social media congratulating Mizell. The President-elect said Mizell is, quote, a MAGA warrior who will help bring accountability, integrity, and justice back to the DOJ. Coming up on Wavy 10 News today, on hold before the holidays, Amazon workers are striking at delivery hubs across the country. Find out how this could affect your holiday shopping. But first, we are living local in Hampton Roads. Find out about some events going this weekend when we come back.
It may surprise you, but for years, the infant mortality rate in Charlottesville has been significantly higher than the state and national averages. So what's putting these babies at risk, and what's being done to stop this disturbing trend? I met with community leaders who are trying to make a difference. A healthy baby, it's all any mom wants. But for too many women, a lack of basic prenatal care can derail those hopes before their child is even born.
If a woman has no prenatal care, she's 5 times more likely to have her baby die in the first year of life.
Nationally, an average of 6 babies out of every 1,000 die before their first birthday. In Virginia, that number is slightly higher, 6.2. For years, Charlottesville's infant mortality rate has topped the state and national averages, spiking at 9.1 as recently as 2010. And even more troubling, when you look at the statistics for babies born to African American mothers in Charlottesville that same year, it was nearly 30.
Every time any infant is born unhealthy or, God forbid, passes away, that's something that's significant, and we won't stand for that in this community.
With such esteemed healthcare organizations like the University of Virginia Medical Center and Sentara Martha Jefferson Hospital, it is mind-boggling that a community like Charlottesville has dealt with such a high infant mortality rate. That's why local organizations decided to gather up all that expertise to figure out why these babies are dying and how to stop it.
We found that a lot of pregnant women weren't accessing prenatal care for a number of different reasons.
Some families aren't used to doing that. They say, I'll go to the doctor when it gets closer to my time to deliver. Why should I take time off work or, take a risk of spending money I don't have to get prenatal care? I feel fine.
A health impact team was created to connect women in what they found were high-risk communities with the resources that could help them have healthy pregnancies.
It's not just about putting up a sign that tells people to access prenatal care. It's about really going into communities and whatever obstacles moms have, helping them overcome those obstacles.
And it's working. The following year, the infant mortality rate for African Americans dropped from nearly 30 to just over 8. Oopsie. Erin Cook credits these programs with helping her with her 2 daughters, 3-year-old Genesis and newborn baby Aubrey.
I've learned a lot through prenatal care. I didn't know that there was so many things that needed to be done, like making sure you're taking your prenatal vitamins, making sure you're going to your appointments, and they'll also help you get there if you need to.
It goes further than doctor's appointments. Through these programs, women are taught proper nutrition and are even connected with resources to help them stop smoking or address any potential substance abuse issues. The support doesn't stop after the baby's born.
In the beginning, I didn't really have any experience with taking care of kids as a mom. So they helped me know what I'm supposed to do, helped me introduce me to different programs like United Way, through the United Way Scholarship for daycare, which I just got approved for.
The programs seem to be working. Recent data continues to trend in the right direction.
We hope that we're having an impact. We know there's still a ways to go because losing even one infant is a big tragedy.
After taking up this cause, the health impact team realized that most moms and dads just really want to be good parents. And there are so many resources out there in our community that can help make that happen. So if you are pregnant, ask for help. Contact the United Way to be connected to these programs that can help you and your baby. Head to newsplex.com. Click on the story. We've got all the links available there.
Come on, Cassie.
Cassie Roop is the epitome of health and fitness, fresh off a second-place finish in the OCB Colonial Open in Williamsburg. But that wasn't always the case. Just 3 years ago, she was nearly double her size, and fitness wasn't in the forefront.
I couldn't even walk a block because I was out of breath, or I couldn't go outside and play with my kids because I was too tired.
She decided to do something about it.
I didn't want to be that mom. I didn't want to just exist in my kids' lives. I wanted to be present.
She started with small changes.
Drinking more water instead of drinking soda. Started eating more fruits and vegetables instead of going out for takeout all the time. I started cooking more meals at home.
It was a long process.
I did not gain the weight overnight, and I knew that I was not going to lose the weight overnight.
Slowly but surely, the pounds started to come off.
The benefit of it was that I started feeling better. And then the side effect of that was that I started to look better.
Along with her body, her confidence and motivation grew stronger. She decided to see what she was capable of.
I do really great with accountability. And what bigger accountability do you have than to sign up to enter into a fitness competition?
But to be successful, she had to address her lifelong addiction to food.
What's different between my addiction to food and, say, an addiction to drugs or alcohol is that you have to have food to live, and your addiction is around all the time, and so it's all about having to change your mindset and your relationship with food. Turkey pepperoni. Now, as an athlete, I use food as fuel.
As Cassie says, you can't outwork a bad diet, so she got creative in the kitchen to give her favorite comfort foods a healthy spin.
These are protein fudgy brownies, and it's literally made out of stuff like protein powder.
Her children are getting on board with the healthier lifestyle too.
That just shows me that I'm doing what I'm supposed to by leading by example for them.
She's got some advice for those looking to follow in her footsteps.
Do not let the scale dictate your success. There's going to be fluctuations, but I promise if you keep going, it will happen. You only fail if you give up.
All of her patience and preparation paid off. She stepped out on the stage for her first fitness competition more than 100 pounds lighter than she had been 3 years ago.
I've learned that I am stronger than I ever thought possible. I proved to myself the day I stepped on that stage that I can do it. And that feeling was one of the best feelings that I have ever felt in my entire life.
School dress codes have recently come under scrutiny nationwide, and most of us can agree young people need rules, but some worry that the dress codes unfairly target female students and arbitrary guidelines leave the rules open for selective enforcement. I look into both sides of the story in this special report.
You should be able to express yourself at the same time, but you should not expose yourself.
Students at Monticello High School sounding off about their dress code.
Tight jeans wouldn't really hurt somebody. Unless it does hurt somebody, then it shouldn't really be a problem.
Their principal, Dr. Jesse Turner, says the rules are an essential part of preparing his students for the adult world.
Part of what we want to try to do at all times is help young people to have an avenue to express themselves. But also, especially at the high school level, we're trying to set a standard for how they should dress after high school.
But how important is enforcing a school dress code? Is it important enough to pull a student out of class and have them miss out on learning?
If a child is dressed in a way that causes a distraction, then it needs to be addressed.
I don't think it's helping anyone by pulling her out of class and stopping her learning when maybe it's the boy or the teacher that's uncomfortable about it.
This outfit got Addie Brewer pulled out of class at a local private school. She says students should be able to wear whatever they feel they can learn best in.
If she feels like it's appropriate and if she feels comfortable in wearing it outside of the house, then I don't see what any other problem is.
Addie's mom is former Commonwealth's attorney Denise Lunsford, who's been criticized herself for her choice of clothing. She worries that this kind of dress code enforcement will set a precedent that what you wear is more important than what you do.
I mean, we worry about whether someone wears a skirt that is considered too short or too tight. On the other hand, we criticize women who wear pantsuits and things of that nature, and the focus sometimes seems to be so much on the wardrobe of professional women that their professionalism and the fact that they do a good job or they don't do a good job is lost in that process.
You should dress the way you want to be treated. How I look and how I present myself sends a message.
Lunsford says some could take that mentality too far, even contributing to rape culture and victim blaming.
Time and time again, both as a prosecutor and as a defense attorney, I have heard with respect to a sexual assault, well, how was she dressed?
Dress codes can't be a way of telling female students that it's their job to control males' impulses or distractibility.
Dr. Joseph Allen is a psychology professor at UVA. He says dress codes are also vulnerable to selective enforcement.
The student who's the great student versus the student who's kind of annoying to teachers, the latter is more likely to get picked up for a dress code violation.
Principal Turner says their school only has a handful of dress code violations each day. His main concern is that students are coming to school ready to learn.
There's a time and a place for all types of dress, but when you're in school, it's more of a it's relaxed, but it's also about showing that you are prepared and you're respecting yourself.
Dr. Allen suggests parents and educators work together with students, hearing them out, but not necessarily giving up control.
Adolescents will always do best if they feel like they've had input, and if they feel like they've been listened to. It doesn't mean that you have to agree with them.
Plenty of sun out there today, as you can see on our JES Tower Cam Skyline Network over Sentara Martha Jefferson Hospital. All that sunshine got temperatures up to 98 degrees in Charlottesville and fueled a line of severe thunderstorms. You can see that wall of water right there over the hospital, but once that cleared out of the way, we were treated to a gorgeous sunset, beautiful hues of orange and blue, very fitting for us here in Central Virginia. Now, another reason for the severity of those storms was how humid it was outside. Our current dew point is 68 degrees. Very uncomfortable, but we were in the oppressive category earlier today in the lower 70s, something we definitely felt and will continue to feel tomorrow. Looking at our radar right now, you can see there go those storms that swept through our area, now well to our south and east and significantly losing strength. And there is nothing coming precipitation wise behind them because we are still under this bubble of high pressure. It's going to keep temperatures high and unfortunately rain chances low. Before today, a lot of us hadn't seen any rain for about 2.5 weeks, so we could definitely use some more. You can see where that rain has hit though. 70 degrees in Stannersville currently, as well as Orange, 73 in Louisa, 72 at Lake Monticello, and in Charlottesville, still 78 down in Dillwyn, 77 in Richmond. You can tell the rain not having a big impact there. As far as future chances for rain, tomorrow evening, we do have a chance for some pop-up thunderstorms similar to what we saw today. If temperatures get high enough tomorrow, some of those storms could be severe, something to keep in mind. But Friday, see those little dashes of green? That is the wind direction. Here comes our weak cold front. That wind now coming from the north and east, bringing with it a lot of cloud cover and some drizzle that, as you can see, sticks around for the majority of the day on Friday. Talking temperatures now, it is going to be a hot one tomorrow, waking up to temperatures in the 70s and 80s and then skyrocketing to the 90s by the middle of tomorrow afternoon. But look what happens when that cold front comes through. We'll wake up to temperatures only in the 60s and many of us widespread 70s throughout the day on Friday. Now, a lot of those cooler conditions will stick around for at least the first half of your day on Saturday. But if you're heading out to that UVA versus Florida State football game, plan accordingly, because here comes a change in the wind direction. Temperatures are going to increase as the day goes on Saturday. We're going to reach the middle 80s, so plan ahead for that one. Getting you out the door tomorrow, summer's still hanging on right there. It's going to be hot when you wake up, mid-90s by lunchtime, and that heat is just going to stick around. Let's go ahead and look at what you can expect for the rest of the week in our Madison Ford 7-day forecast. There is that heat tomorrow, 95 degrees, a chance of some storms. That's 77 on Friday. Most of us are going to see that, if you see it, at 2 o'clock in the morning. But for the most part on Friday, we'll be hovering right around 70. Temperatures on the rise over the weekend with some chances of storms, and then we hover right back to 90 as we start our work week.